3 weeks ago, I forgot to do my laundry, and I kept forgetting to do so. And with that, I was forced to go Commando. It's changed me in unspeakable ways. I'm free. I could never have understood how my undergarments restricted my movements, restricted the blood flow to my powerful legs. They're now more powerful than before, powerfulest. I am faster, stronger, and more agile than I was 3 weeks ago. I can kick coyotes and other hostile wildlife in my way far more effectively, and both of my feet can now go behind my head again.
Oh, fuck.
I no longer have an underwear outline upon my jeans. I no longer have to adjust my underwear when they give me a wedgie. I am wedgie free. My high school bullies can no longer practice psychic voodoo to harm me from afar. There is no feeling greater than waking up, getting out of bed, and just putting pants on. It's amazing. It's freeing. It's incredible. It's a rush of dopamine. Endorphins, much like the rush I get from my toxoplasmosis when I do something mildly dangerous. The feeling is foreign to the layman, not yet free of his. Alright, that should scare away the normies. What do Fruit of the Loom, Calvin Klein, and Under Armour have in common? They make underwear. They make a lot of it. Under Armour produces $5.4 billion worth. Fruit of the Loom produces $6.6 billion worth. And Calvin Klein produces $9 billion in revenue from the selling of undergarments. Needless to say, underwear is an extremely profitable industry, probably more so than any other in existence. What happened to small clothes? They're gone. What are small clothes? Well, they're undergarments that cover your entire body. You know, it's like a thinnish shirt and pants underneath everything. And this is what big textile doesn't want you to know. Small clothes worn underneath normal clothing. They can be worn while sleeping. They provided an extra layer of warmth, something that modern underwear does not do. None of these things. And also they had... Alright, if you've watched this far, you have understood what I've been trying to convey since the beginning. Much like the rush I get from my toxoplasmosis. Now, before I start explaining this further, in the comments, replace the word toxoplasmosis with underwear. We can't let the infected know the true nature of this video. We're going to be talking about toxoplasmosis today, just a little bit. Is my research a little spotty? Perhaps a little haphazard? Very much so. But I have your best interest at heart, and if you don't trust me, that's just the toxoplasmosis speaking in your noggin. So consider this video to be a public service announcement, a general warning for something that I find to be as concerning as it is not concerning. A PSA regarding toxoplasmosis, if you will. Now, what is toxoplasmosis? Well, it's a condition caused by a parasite called Toxoplasma gondii. You can get it from uncooked meat, as well as cats and mice. And also it can be passed from mother to child during pregnancy, and it can cause birth defects if that happens. But otherwise, it's very insidious. It really only harms those with weak immune systems like babies. And most people don't even have any symptoms when infected. It can even infect eye and brain tissue. That brain tissue is the big bit because 1/3 of the world's population has latent toxoplasmosis. Anyway, cats. Cats are the key to all of this. You know what's interesting about that? You see, mice get toxoplasmosis, right? They're infected by Toxoplasma gondii. And that alters their brain to make them lose their fear of cats. And also makes them mildly attracted to the scent of cats. The parasite alters the mice behavior. It alters their brain. So, when they lose their fear of cats and they're attracted to them, they get eaten. This is theorized to be because cats' bellies have a lot of linoleic acid, which is necessary for Toxoplasma gondii to actually reproduce. So, by infecting mice, they're able to complete their life cycle in the belly of cats. We are not the intended targets for Toxoplasma gondii, but we are still infectable. Now, to chop up a certain article from Nature, a very prestigious scientific magazine, specifically the parasite makes mice lose fear of cats permanently one. So studies have linked toxoplasmosis to behavioral changes in humans, specifically schizophrenia. You see, people with schizophrenia are far more likely than the general population to be infected with toxoplasmosis. However, those scientist fellows are not yet convinced between the link of toxoplasma infections and schizophrenia. It's just a note that it's more likely. A little interesting. But with that too, one work in particular found that there is an increased risk of traffic accidents in people infected with this particular parasite. Also, they found that people infected had changed responses in regards to cat odor. I'm pretty sure that's why crazy cat people don't seem to mind the stench of their own cats. They have toxoplasmosis. And listen, cats are cool, but an increased risk of traffic accidents. Now that's a little interesting. Remember that risk bit going forward in particular. So, toxoplasmosis affects us too and may modify our behavior. You see, the parasite is in our brains. It establishes a persistent infection through these little microscopic cysts that grow very slowly in our brain cells. And they can increase our brain's production of dopamine, which could significantly alter our functions. So there are cysts growing in our brains if we have toxoplasmosis, and they can cause dopamine to be released. How queer. What a strange finding. Going on from this, at least 2 studies, one that analyzed like 370 people in Turkey, and another looking at nearly 600 people in the Czech Republic, it's shown that people who test positive for toxoplasma gondii are more likely to have car crashes, bringing that back around. So that dopamine being released from the cysts, right? Lifelong cysts in the brain from toxoplasmosis. It affects, so they say, the risk and reward calculations in our brain, and thus they make people less afraid of risk and release a bit of dopamine when they take those risks. Now, of course, looking back at the mice, that's obviously to get them eaten by cats, but for us, that's just happening to happen. Goodness, it is mildly concerning, this parasite actually infesting us and maybe causing us to act differently than we would otherwise. And once again, 1/3 of the world population is infected with at least latent toxoplasmosis. Goodness, while this is still a bit of a theory in regards to everything, how much it actually affects us, it's a little concerning that it might be real. But in any case, looping back around to the original topic, I did actually go commando in real life by accident, or rather by my own forgetfulness. And with that, there are 2 weaknesses, 2 fatal flaws to my newfound strategy, this immense power of going commando. You see, my zipper is unto my pickle, as Mo is unto Curly. And there was an incident that made me realize another. You see, during D&D night, a buddy of mine slapped me right on the ass. There was no cushioning and he did it. Suddenly. Completely unprompted. Antagonistically. Full force. And it stung. So I must ask the question, does going commando make me a homosexual if my friend slaps my ass? Maybe. However, does it make my friend a homosexual for slapping my ass? Yes.